Wait. So that's actually his name? There was like a moment in this episode, like, wait, that's that guy's actual name. Perv is his actual name. I'm not going to say the other part of it because YouTube's strictness lately has been getting worse. Butt hat. Butt hat. Perv butt hat. Thank you, YouTube. Perv butt hat. Interesting name. That's his actual name. I just thought the girls were making up some name, like they hate him or something in the last episode, but no, that's his actual name. And now the dude stabbed, apparently. Anyways, this episode was pretty solid. I actually kind of enjoyed it. It was a lot of setup. We did get an introduction of sort of one of my most hated tropes in anime is the overly beautiful and they're in love with themselves type character, the pretty boy that glitters. But it was all right. I got a little bit of a kick out of the sword on the cart that he just kind of carries away. But yes, a lot of setup for this big Bushin event that's coming up, and really Sid setting up things in order to get that kind of going. Sid didn't really bother me as much as he usually does, which is kind of a surprise. Kind of opening up the episode with this idea of like, oh, well, this is my chance. My bucket list is to go in there in this big tournament, be seen as the weakest dude, and then destroy everything and look really cool. But it's not going to be Sid, apparently, himself that's going to be doing it. He's going to be disguising himself as Mundane Man. Which, yes, he has to seek out the help of Gamma for a disguise. Which is apparently she has put together the technology to do plastic surgery. So we have plastic surgery made in this world. Based on what he said about this forbidden knowledge, she was able to make out plastic surgery, which is, the process is completely different to what we do. Which that's the funny part of it. It's like, yes, based on this knowledge, she made plastic surgery. But it's nothing like plastic surgery. She literally just puts goop on people's faces and then electrifies it, and it somehow makes you into looking exactly like the photo looks like. It's fine. We're not going to think too much about it. We're just going to do it because Gamma figured it out. Gamma and, well, not necessarily Gamma. I think they're kind of pointing at the idea of Etta, whatever her name is, the lazy girl, the scientist girl. She figured it out. Because she was there for like a brief minute to plug it in, and then they just carted her off because literally she can't move by herself. She's that lazy. But no, Nexus, you think you got everybody else fooled, but you ain't got me fooled. I seen so much reused assets this episode, it's not funny. Like, Gamma falling down the stairs was reused, exactly the same as when they first met her at that place. And then you have later on, you have like the shots of all the crowds and stuff, which I'm guessing what they're doing here is that the very first scene when he was first shown in that world, it had him with all the others and they charged into something. He was looking down the street and you could see all these different people in the streets and the shopping districts and stuff like that. That's all being used now. So it could be reused assets, or it could be simply, no, this is when that starts. Like that segment, that brief segment that we've seen before it cut back to his first introduction in this world, that was the Bushin Festival. So it's kind of doing a callback, but I think then it was at night. And now it's during the day. But still, Nexus, you got everybody fooled, you didn't got me fooled. Reuse assets like crazy. But no, after he gets his outfit, now he is Mundane Man walking down the street. Of course, for some reason, Anna Rose randomly runs into him because he's a main character, and so thus all the important people of this world have to take note of him. Anna Rose, who apparently was the girl that was able to summon an ancient warrior in the last festival goddess trial, she spots him and says, hey, look, you look way too weak. You shouldn't be a part of this. You're going to get yourself killed. And he's like, oh, so you judge a book by its cover. No, that's not what I meant. You're going to get yourself hurt. And then, yes, some burly guy says the same exact thing, beats the crap out of him. And Anna Rose comes up and says, sorry, I guess I brought too much attention upon you. It's been a long time since I've tasted blood. And she's like, wait, you're not hurt. Wait. Which, that's exactly what he wanted. Exactly what he wants to feed off of. He pretty much keeps an eye on Anna Rose the entire episode. Like, even when they were doing the kind of preliminaries elsewhere, you have this whole aspect of him going into this fight and knocking somebody down in a split second, and she's the only one that's seen it, and she's the only one that he's actually taking note of. There's this entire crowd, and she's the only one that he's like, oh yes, she's seen it. But now that's when we get the introduction of the super pretty guy. I didn't even write down his name because freaking hate these types of characters. But no, it's like his friend the entire time keeps getting the name wrong, and he keeps having to correct him the entire time. But yeah, this super pretty guy that's supposed to be some great warrior, and he's got this cart that he carries his sword around on. And with him, they're trying to establish power levels. So we're doing the Dragon Ball Z power level thing here. So of course, Mundane Man gets 33 established to him. This other guy like 1300. I don't know if they're gonna do that with all the characters. That would be kind of a funny thing to do once the tournament stuff starts beginning. Is having the stupid pretty boy on the sidelines assigning these stupid arbitrary numbers like Dragon Ball to everything, just so that we get like some dumb, I don't know, could be possibly according to the writer's perspective, the power levels of each one of them, like Rose and Alexia and Iris and all that kind of stuff. But no, besides the kind of the build up and everybody showing up and all the different warriors are going to be part of this Bushin tournament, which I hope actually turns out to be a good tournament. Typically, tournament arcs and stories and episodes are always so throwaway in most series. So hopefully they do something interesting with it this time. Last time they had a tournament technically in this series, it was just literally Sid. And again, Nexus doing the same animation over and over again of him getting beat up and over and over and over again. So hopefully this time it actually has some cool fight scenes, or at least some sort of weight to each of the fights. Make them interesting. But no, besides Sid getting prepared, obviously the big story beat in this episode is something's going on with Rose. We've seen like a very brief snippet of it in the last episode, and the idea that she was practicing to become like this person that she's seen long ago, which was, it's obviously Sid. She's seen Sid a long time ago when she was young, and he protected her, and she's always been seeking out that fighting style. And what she's kind of presenting to Sid, which, my gosh, surprise, Sid's actually listening to somebody for once. Can we take note that Sid is actually listening to somebody for once in like this entire series? Typically, he's always in his own mind and just kind of humming and saying, yeah. He was actually listening to Rose. But Rose is essentially indicating that she doesn't like the fact that her father is going to introduce her to her fiancé, which, yes, is Perv. And it seems like she's not okay with it. Obviously, she's not okay with it. Typically, in these stories, they're not okay with it. But the reason why she's not okay with it specifically is that she is seeking out this fighting style that she's seen Sid do a long time ago. She wants to be like him. And so she's been training for a long time to be like him. So we have really two major issues going on with Rose right now. One is that she's being forced into this marriage and she wants to pursue martial arts. Or fencing, or whatever. Dark knighting, whatever. And at the same time, again, last episode, there's something growing on her. There's an affliction that's going through her. Why is that there? That's the big question mark. And as we see with the end of this episode, yes, apparently everybody's claiming that Rose has stabbed Perv, which I don't think she did. Based on the fact that Shadow Garden is looking out for Perv, or at least they're monitoring his movements, I would assume that the Shadow Garden probably took him out. But again, it's being blamed on Rose. Or it could be this affliction that's hitting her was something implanted in her to take out Perv. I can probably lean more towards the later one. Maybe he was forcing himself upon Rose, and she's like, no, I don't want to do this at all. I don't want to be your fiancé. And then she attacked him because he was forcing himself upon her. Then she fled, and she wants to do this. A lot of weight is on Rose and the idea that this is what the expectation is of her based on her position. You need to get with Perv. This is a political move that needs to be done. But she's like, no, but this is what I want to do. And she even, the weight is upon her shoulders in the idea that she's going to let down a lot of people. She's going to betray the trust of so many people. That's why she's confiding in Sid. What do you think I should do? Can you believe in me and my ideals? And he's like, yeah, sure. Again, thankfully for once actually listening. I would probably hate it if Sid wasn't listening to her this time, because typically he's always humming off the side, and they kind of take whatever he's humming as acknowledgement of listening to them. But no, he was legitimately listening. And he's like, yeah, sure, it's fine. But no, we'll see. We'll see how things go. My assumption at this point is that the tournament's going to begin. They're going to be doing a lot of fighting. Again, Sid's going to get in there and beat up anybody that's before him while looking like he's super weak. That joke's going to get real old real quick. But I think the bigger plot line that's going to happen is, yes, you're going to have Iris in there. She's going to probably be doing very well. You're going to have Anna Rose in there. She's going to be doing well. I'll be curious between Anna Rose and Iris. I'm hoping the two of them will go against each other, because they're the two female characters that have been really portrayed as being two people that have done something absolutely incredible. Again, Anna Rose summoning one of these warriors, and yes, Iris, basically winning the last tournament. But I think somewhere in there is going to be Rose showing up out of nowhere. Everybody's going to freak out. This is the girl that they're trying to find. And then she's going to suddenly awake. Like, whatever is building up inside of her is going to awake. I'm sure some people said in the last video what that buildup is. I think I made an assumption that it was this experimenting they were doing with the whole Diablos thing, but I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe Sherry will show up and she'll fight too, and she'll have some artifact that one-shots everybody. But yeah, we're coming down to the end of it. 5 more episodes, so technically we can start building up to the big finale, so we'll see. But that's my thoughts on episode 15 of The Eminence and Shadow. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, make sure to hit that like button down below, comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here so you can get all my content. I do news, reviews, first impressions, top list. If it's anime, it's pretty much here. Just if you want to support the channel more, we have a Patreon link, tips link, a membership button. I greatly appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.